Now, Ethiopia is cutting down its electricity for domestic and industrial customers in one of Africa's fastest growing economies. The country has also suspended electricity exports to neighboring Djibouti and Sudan. The government says the drop in water levels in the country's hydroelectric dams has led to production undersupply.
Johan Retta runs a barber shop in the capital Addis Ababa. He says he now depends on a generator to power light and equipment at the shop.
This situation is very upsetting, really. Even the so-called power rationing shifts are not predictable. You cannot prepare for it. Fortunately, I have a generator, which I bought recently on loan. My situation is a bit better. Those who don't have a generator are left with no option but to close their shops and roam around when there's no power.
Ethiopia announced last week that it has been forced to start rationing power after a drop in water levels in hydroelectric dams led to a production deficit. The drop in water levels at the country's Gaib 3 dam had led to a deficit of 476 megawatts, more than a third of the country's electricity generation of 1,400 megawatts. Ethiopia has also suspended electricity exports to neighboring Djibouti and Sudan, which earns the country $82 million a year. Lingering effects of past droughts blamed on climate change continue to be felt in the country. Our contribution to the climate change is very, very minute despite this. Climate change is having a very heavy toll on us. We cannot see the current problem outside this issue. Unless we are tied up with financial constraints, we will be forced to look around for solutions that will set us free from the effects of climate change. Both the drought and a spate of ethnic clashes, mostly in the southwest and east, prompted an Ethiopian government appeal for $1.3 billion to provide emergency food and non-food assistance for 8.3 million people in March.
You know that we have huge potential in hydropower. It is estimated we have 45,000 megawatt from electric alone, significant amount from geothermal, and surprisingly, over 1.3 million on wind. So we can exploit those things. If we exploit all this, let alone for Ethiopia, it could be for the whole of Africa.
Under the rationing program, which runs until July, domestic consumers will face blackouts for several hours a day, while cement and steel firms will have to operate fewer shifts due to the cuts.